It's so easy to peel a chestnut in just 1 second with a zip tie. Welcome back to Tracy Tips. Today I'll show you how to peel chestnuts in an extremely simple way, using a zip tie and one item that every home has. Not only that, in this video, you'll also learn the correct way to store them if you don't finish, and enjoy the full rich flavor of chestnuts that anyone who tries once will absolutely love. First, when you bring chestnuts home, don't cook them right away. Make sure to clean them first. All you need is a basin of clean water, add about 1 spoonful of salt, and stir until it's fully dissolved. Next, pour the chestnuts in and soak them for about 3 minutes. You know, the coarse texture of salt combined with water seeps into the grooves and ridges on the chestnut shells. It helps clean off dirt or fine fuzz clinging to the surface. After soaking, gently rub the chestnuts with your hands, paying more attention to the raised lines and rough edges. You'll notice sand, soil, and fuzz easily come off as you scrub. Finally, rinse each chestnut under running water, one by one. This step makes sure the chestnuts are spotless, shiny, and free of impurities. Now your chestnuts are clean, safe, and ready for. Tip 1. The zip tie trick for cutting chestnuts. Normally, chestnut shells are hard, smooth, and slippery. Many people hold the nut in their hand and try to carve a cross on top, but it doesn't take much for the knife to slip. Not only do the cuts end up uneven, but there's also a big risk of hurting your fingers. Here's where a simple zip tie comes to the rescue. Take a sturdy plastic zip tie and fasten the two ends together to form a circle. Adjust it so that the opening is just the right size to hold a chestnut snugly. Not too loose, not too tight. Place one chestnut inside the circle and hold the end of the zip tie firmly with one hand. With your other hand, carefully use a knife to cut a cross shape on the flat side of the chestnut. Thanks to the zip tie holding it in place, the chestnut won't slip or roll around, no matter how you slice. The cuts come out neat and even, and most importantly, your fingers stay safe from the blade. It's such a simple tool, yet it solves the biggest challenge of preparing chestnuts. Once you try this method, you'll never feel nervous about cutting through those tough shells again. Once you've scored the chestnuts with neat little crosses, take a plate and arrange the chestnuts evenly, making sure the cross-shaped cuts are facing upward. This way, the steam inside each nut will have a place to escape as they heat, preventing them from bursting. Now place the plate directly into the microwave without covering it. Set the timer for about 2 minutes on medium-high power. If your microwave has lower wattage, you might need to add an extra 30 seconds. As they heat, something amazing happens. The natural moisture inside the chestnuts turns into steam, causing the shells to split open right along the cuts you made. When you take them out, you'll see the shells opening up like little smiles. Let them cool just slightly, then peel them while they're still warm. The hard shell will pull away easily, and even the thin inner skin shrinks back from the nut, making it simple to remove. With this method, you can peel each chestnut in just a second or two. The golden flesh stays whole, tender, and wonderfully fragrant, ready to enjoy without the struggle. Tip 2. Using scissors. Besides the method above, you can also peel chestnuts super easily with just a pair of scissors, a tool every home has. Many people try to cut chestnuts with scissors by pressing up and down, but because the chestnut shells are smooth and slippery, the nuts often slide out. This not only makes the cuts uneven, but can also be dangerous if the scissors slip. Instead, here's a safer and more effective way. Hold the chestnut firmly and place the lower blade of the scissors against the nut as a steady support. Then, with the upper blade, cut a small hole in the shell. The cut doesn't need to be deep, just enough to pierce the outer layer. This little hole will make a big difference later, allowing heat to spread evenly during cooking and making the peeling process much easier. And just like that, after only a few minutes of cutting with scissors, you'll have a plate full of chestnuts prepared quickly, safely, and conveniently. Next, steam the chestnuts. First, place all the chestnuts into the steamer, arranging them so the cuts face upward. This way, the steam can flow directly into the openings without creating too much pressure inside. Then cover the pot with the lid and steam over high heat for about 5 to 10 minutes, adjusting the time depending on the size of the chestnuts. When the time is up, open the lid and take a look. You'll see each chestnut has opened along the cut, almost as if they're smiling at you. It's a delightful sight, and it means they're done. Remove the chestnuts from the steamer and let them cool just enough so they're warm but still comfortable to touch. At this point, the shells will peel off in just a few seconds. Both the hard outer shell and the thin inner skin will separate smoothly from the nut, leaving behind the golden, sweet chestnut flesh. The reason chestnuts open so easily is that when chestnuts are exposed to high heat, the moisture inside turns into steam, causing the shell and the flesh to expand. Then as they cool, the outer shell and thin inner skin shrink at a different rate than the nut itself. This creates natural gaps between the layers, making the shell split neatly along the cut. That's why peeling becomes quick and effortless, leaving the golden chestnut flesh perfectly intact. So now you know 2 simple tricks to peel chestnuts quickly and safely using a zip tie and a pair of scissors. Which way do you like better? Leave a comment below to let me know. Both methods save time and keep the chestnuts whole and delicious. And if you don't plan to eat them all right away, don't worry. Tracy will show you how to store them so they keep their flavor and taste just as good. After peeling the chestnuts, let them cool completely. Prepare a few zip bags and place the chestnuts inside. Press out all the air and seal the bags tightly. Then, place the bags in the refrigerator. Stored this way, the chestnuts will stay fresh for nearly half a year, so you'll always have them ready whenever you need to cook. When it's time to use them, just take out the portion you need. Chestnuts are perfect for roasting, chicken stew with chestnuts, braised ribs, or even baking cakes and making desserts. Their flavor remains sweet and rich, and the texture stays soft and delicate, just like freshly peeled chestnuts. How does your family usually enjoy chestnuts? Stewed, in soups, or baked into cakes? For Tracy, there's one unbeatable favorite that I always make when chestnuts are in season, and every time I serve it, the kids fall in love with it all over again. That dish is butter-roasted chestnuts. The recipe is incredibly simple. Start with chestnuts that have been fully steamed, and it's best to use them with the shells still on, as this helps the flavor soak in more evenly. Next, prepare a large pan or pot on the stove and add 1 to 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, adjusting the amount depending on how many chestnuts you're making. Let the butter melt slowly over medium heat until completely liquid. Then, add the warm chestnuts directly into the pan. Stir gently so the melted butter coats every surface. Continue roasting over medium heat for about 5 to 10 minutes. This allows the butter to seep into the shells and enhance the natural flavor of the nuts. If you prefer a sweeter taste, sprinkle in a little sugar while stirring. the sugar will turn into a light caramel that clings to the shells, giving the chestnuts a delicate sweetness that perfectly balances the rich butter flavor. Just make sure to stir evenly so all the chestnuts are coated. When finished, turn off the heat and scoop the chestnuts onto a plate. The aroma is irresistible, warm butter blending with the earthy scent of chestnuts. Crack one open, and you'll find soft, creamy flesh inside, infused with butter and just the right touch of sweetness. This dish is the perfect comfort food, especially on a chilly day when you're craving something warm and fragrant. Butter-roasted chestnuts are a wonderful choice, so be sure to save this recipe and make it for your family and friends to enjoy. So today, you've learned how to peel chestnuts more easily with nothing more than a zip tie and a simple pair of scissors. Not only that, you can also store them and enjoy them later, saving yourself a lot of time each time you cook. I hope these little tips bring warmth and joy to your kitchen, especially during the cooler months. And if you found today's video helpful, please like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Tracy Tips for more practical and heartwarming ideas. I truly look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you, and see you soon.